Hello, one and all. It's Amateur Astrologer Z, and next up, to finish off the esoteric zodiac, we have the constellations Pisces and Aries. Now, I'm not going to start off as bold as I have before and just say that these are filler constellations, but if you go back into the Sumerian sky and how they saw it as an agricultural calendar or a clock, these constellations were formulated much, much later after most of the sky was already established. Previously, before there were constellations here, this was just seen as something like a celestial sea. As the celestial sea, this entire span of time, ranging from the end of Aquarius to the start of Taurus, like I said, was just like a sea. And it was filled with sea creatures and lore and all of that good stuff, but it was seen as a period of rest and renewal in the deep winter months leading into the spring where Taurus starts off the agricultural year. If we look at the first constellations that were established along the ecliptic path in the place of Pisces and Aries, we used to have this one massive constellation called SIM.MAH, or the Great Swallow, connected to the goddess Anunitum. And you can see it extending all the way through Aries season and connecting to the bull. So, what does this mean? So if you look here, you can see the stars of Anunitum, and you can see the body and the wing here of the Great Swallow. Look how they create that perfect V shape of Pisces. Now, these constellations are still obviously connected to the divine feminine with themes of intuition, renewal, and transition. Now, this is a story we've heard before in a similar fashion. They did something similar with Virgo, being the biggest constellation and connected to the divine feminine. It was shortened and the span was condensed, and a lot of that time was given to Libra, as well as the traits of Virgo and also Scorpius. Now it's time we start to get to the point of things here. We change the stars, and every time something is not necessarily gained, the best they try to do is maintain, but something is always lost. And what is a common theme that is lost? The connection to the divine feminine and also the divine masculine, when Aquarius was turned into the plaything of the gods versus being the god himself. So, the stars. Stop messing with them. At the very least, we should all be educating ourselves on where the modern zodiac came from, because it will give us more perspective and more understanding. Now, I've mentioned before that most of what Aries is known for now, a lot of those traits were actually attributed to Taurus starting out the agricultural year. Previously, this constellation Pisces, being SIM.MAH and Anunitum, used to extend all the way through this span of time. So I'm not necessarily saying Aries is a filler constellation, but previously this constellation Triangulum was much more important because it was known as the Plow Star. So I understand that the Plow Star doesn't sound all that fancy, and Aries is still an important constellation, being connected to shepherding and the herds. But the Plow Star is what they named the Mulapin tablets after, which are the tablets that the Babylonians then adjusted to create the zodiac. Moral of the story is, if you're going to take the zodiac as it is and use it as a reference for your life and for timing and all of that good jazz that it was meant for, all it takes is a little bit of research, and I promise it'll open your eyes.